Momodora, Reverie Under the Moonlight places you in the role of a character named Kaho, a priestess seeking aid from the queen of the kingdom of Karst because of an evil curse that has spread to her home. As you embark on this journey, you will soon learn that this mysterious curse has befallen the kingdom as well. Ultimately, it will become your mission to seek out the origins of this curse and to be the one to stop it from spreading any further. Along the way, you'll encounter residents of the kingdom of Karst who will speak of how the curse has affected their lives and who may be behind it all. One thing I noticed as I interacted with many of them was how subtle they were in giving information about the lore of the world. As a matter of fact, this whole game is very meticulous with how it presents itself. The most common way of getting more information about the lore of this game, other than speaking with NPCs, is by reading item descriptions. Even though I would have liked to have known more about the characters in different areas, I can appreciate that the game was trying to be mysterious, which in turn made me want to seek out more information. Compared to previous Momodora entries, the pixel art style in this game has to be the best looking one yet. I love that each area has its own unique identity that is emphasized through the different types of environments you'll be traveling through. At one point, you could be going through a beautiful sacred forest that feels serene, but then transition into an underground sewer that sets a tone of creepiness, all because of the way the visual design of each area is elegantly presented. Clearly, there was a lot of work put into the visual design of each level because of how detailed each area looks. The character models also looked well designed since the developers chose to switch from a minimalistic style to more detailed sprites. For me, one of the best parts of this game has to be its music and sound design in general. Even though the visual and sound design go hand in hand in making the environments feel alive, this specific aspect played a big part in making me feel the different moods of the areas I was slowly discovering. For example, the sounds upon entering Karst City for the first time gives off feelings of uneasiness as you slowly witness what the curse has done to the residents who once called it home. On the other hand, speaking with nuns at a monastery is made to feel like you are truly settling into a space of holiness thanks to the music that accompanies it. The sound design in general does an excellent job at conveying the haunting nature of this game. The system of progressing will be familiar to those of you who have played Metroidvania games before. You'll be basically fighting your way through enemies to reach new areas that are seamlessly connected to each other. In each of these levels are challenges that will test your platforming and combat skills. You can find bells that act as a way to save your progress, and there is also a cellar next to most of these bells that serve as a way to buy useful items that will help you along your journey. You can buy things such as flowers that act as a way to heal yourself, and items that come with status buffs to improve your character's skills and weapons. After you finish exploring an area, eventually you'll have to fight a boss in order to progress any further into new stages. These boss fights highlight the beautiful animation work put into this game and shows off how well the combat system works. Speaking of combat, Kaho only has 2 weapons throughout the entire game. The first weapon, oddly enough, is a maple leaf, which acts as a sword to combat enemies in close range battle. The second weapon is a bow that surprisingly comes equipped with an infinite amount of arrows for times when you need to strike an enemy from afar. Initially, these weapons don't do anything particularly special, but as you progress in the game, you will have opportunities to gain more abilities and make these weapons stronger. Each new enemy type you'll encounter in this game comes with their own unique attack patterns that encourages a methodical approach to battling them, rather than simply relying on purely offensive tactics. Rushing into a fight because of impatience or with no prior knowledge of how an enemy will attack will certainly assure constant deaths and frustration. There are many things to like about this game, but an area that I think needed major improvement came to my thoughts after the game ends. Although this game wraps up with an ending that is satisfactory, I couldn't help but feel that the game still left open a lot of questions that felt like needed answers. Even though I did say earlier that the mysteries that enshrouded this game was intriguing, on the other hand, not providing enough information about certain things may render parts of the game unmemorable in the long run. In this game, you don't encounter a lot of characters, but when you do, unfortunately, they don't provide much substance in regards to their importance to your journey. Many of the characters who seemed important at first felt unnecessary after I finished the game because their roles didn't seem to deeply impact Kaho's journey to stop the curse. One way this could have been improved would be to encounter more characters consistently throughout the game and reward players with more information about their backstories or the world in order to make the player care more about these characters. It has been stated that this game is a prequel to the previous Momodora titles, and with that precedent, I expected more information about certain things to satisfy my understanding of this world. Because the game was developed in a way that made a lot of information hard to interpret, those questions may simply remain a mystery for the time being. In conclusion, Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight is a major improvement from the titles that were released before. The switch to a more detailed art style will attract fans who want a dose of nostalgia from the games of the 90s. The gorgeous yet haunting sound design will certainly immerse players into spending more time in this world. The simple progression system in this game will satisfy those who are looking to dive back into this particular gaming genre, and the combat system is challenging enough for those looking to play a side-scrolling game that takes inspiration from challenging action games such as Dark Souls. Although this game doesn't do anything particularly special that can make it stand out from its competitors in the long run, it is certainly the best game to play for fans of the Momodora series and stands as a solid game for people who want to experience what this series is all about for the first time.